We're starting it off right. Hey, everybody. It's it's Aaron Live, isn't it?
It is.
And it's, oh my gosh, it's May 1st.
Is that like May Day?
May
Day. I
think it is. And there's Cinco de Mayo this week. There's just all sorts of
Aren't
things.
you supposed to get flowers on May Day? Like, it's just,
Are you?
Not like flowers. Like, you leave them on the.
What kind of flowers? Flowers are there? Like fake flowers?
Well, like planting flowers. Like,
oh, you're supposed to plant flowers.
I don't know.
Well, I was thinking about
mess up my nails. I've already messed up my pedicure, breaking my little toe.
I was thinking of pulling weeds after the show.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Isn't that kind of like Mayflowers?
Job security around here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, let's see who's here, shall we? Hey, Dr. Mask's Retro Elixir was the first one in the house. You know what you get for that? Nothing, but thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
But I'll drink to that.
So much. Stippling Vaughn says, might miss the start of the show, so don't be good. Be great. That's always what we aspire to be, but rarely achieve.
Bump a stick.
Bill Maxwell is here.
Hi, Bill.
80s made consumer. Hey, finally here early. How about that? Hey, thank you.
Do you miss the 80s?
I do, because I was, I was just out of high school, college, swinging, getting chicks. I think you forget that I had hair and was actually
no, I remember that.
Quite in shape. We used to live together, if you recall, back in the day when we were dating. So don't be making fun of me. I was a happening dude in the 80s. So did you. I said I had guns. Oh, so did I. Yes, you did. Maybe that's what I meant to say anyway. Yeah. What else? Well, so much for the 80s. Stat Zero is here. He claims 7th place. That's really worth nothing. But again, thank you for joining us.
Be proud, my friend.
Look at this. American Comics Company is here. Hey, Aaron and Shelley. Always great to see you all. I misspelled Shelley, but I'll let it go.
That's okay. It's okay.
It's better. Is it better?
Well, it's shorter. It's easier.
Well, it's one letter shorter, so it's easier to type. Is that what you're saying?
It's missing some of the symmetry that I really like. Well, so there you have it.
There you go. Randy Howell's here.
Hey,
hello,
Randy.
here for the puppet show. We're going to be sadly disappointed. I am not a puppet guy. Sequential Treasures.
What was that?
Sequential Treasures. Hot off our show yesterday, where he was
just a long time
bathing in B-movie sexploitation films and enjoying it. So
nice.
Let's see what he has to say. How I long for the day to see a chat this active for the start of a comic art convo. He's always pushing the other show, but it's doing pretty well. We had a lot
because I could hear you.
No, we had quite a good viewership.
Yeah.
Yesterday. It was a good show.
Savages.
That's right. All you savages in the chat. Oh, look. It's Eric the Guapo. Eric had some unkind things that he said about me yesterday during the comic art convo.
Just kidding.
He was making
Did he
fun
hurt
of
your feelers?
He made fun of my age. And so allow me to get this out of the way right now. So you said hello to me. That is me saying hello to you.
Give me a little love.
But that's an elephant never forgets, and neither do I. Well, we got more puppet problems thanks to Shelley. Well, we've got nothing but puppet jokes and Uranus jokes thanks to you.
I'm just here to be helpful.
Yeah, well, you're doing a fine job.
I'm so helpful. Light Kick is here.
Taskmaster Dan, live from Nap Central. It's Aaron Lopresti.
Nap Central.
Here, this will put you to sleep. No, this will put you to sleep. More age humor.
Oh, I know.
Ageism.
No, we're good at that.
Citizen Ronan is here. Jimmy is here.
Hey,
Jimmy. May the 4th is this week too. Well,
that's right.
And May 3rd.
With you.
And May the 2nd.
May the 4th.
What's May the 4th? May the 4th be.
Okay. I was not aware that you lived under a rock, but that's okay.
May the 4th.
Maybe it's because I teach high school, so I get that. Okay.
All right. Jeff Potts grilled tonight. Jeff, that sounds good. I almost grilled yesterday, but I didn't.
But you didn't.
Well,
it almost tasted like it. That was good.
Well, because I used that panini to cook the not the fish, but the day before
steaks. Yeah.
I grilled the steaks on our panini press because I didn't want to go outside.
Well, they were little, so it worked.
They were thin cut. Ribeyes, so they were actually quite good. I thought
that was good.
Christina Lynn is in the house. Thanks for joining us. Oh, One Wicked Eye, man.
No, One Wicked Eye.
Evo. Oh, whatever.
We're still working on that whole reading thing. Oh my gosh, you guys are blowing up.
Tarks 9, the Beam Pad, Paul. I was, and I'll get the pictures out next week to prove it.
Okay. The one photo.
She made me throw them all away when we got together.
I did.
You did too. You did too. You didn't want any pictures of me with any other girls, so I had to get rid of all of them. It's totally true.
Not true.
It's totally true. I am here. I really enjoyed Aaron's story about him having dinner and tipping the waitress. How you could screw that up in less than 24 hours as bad as you just did is unbelievable.
Okay.
It was actually breakfast.
Is her name Fern?
No, I was telling this story. We're doing con stories. I was telling this story about how there was this really good-looking waitress, and I was working her, but I was sitting by myself at breakfast with the intent of working this waitress at San Diego. This is before you, of course. Or
I was just sleeping in.
No,
either one.
Yeah,
okay.
And Lynn Johnston, who did For Better or For Worse, the cartoon strip in the newspaper. You remember that? Mm-hmm. She does.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She happened to be sitting next to me with her husband, and she noticed I was sitting by myself. So she invited me to join them, which I couldn't pass that up, but then it blew my opportunity to work
missed opportunity.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of that way.
Gosh, it could have been. Okay.
That's what he's referring to. At least I think that's what he's referring to. Dave Ulbrich, former publisher of Malibu Comics, is in the house. We need to delete Uranus from all the school books. Too suggestive.
It is.
So anyway, we got a little preview for Dave's Geek View Tavern in just a few minutes.
Yes. Davey's put some serious work into that. It was looking really good.
I have so weird. You can take credit for all of this.
I can.
Oh gosh.
Awesome.
What do puppets and Uranus have in common? I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Lewis is here, but he's working. That means he's not eating. He's working.
He's working. He's multitasking. But hey, it's Geek Avenger's birthday. Tomorrow.
That's right. He'll be 52. In fact, he'll be the new 52.
I get it.
DC joke.
I get it. 52. Do you remember 52?
Age of 52? Mm-hmm. That was only 6 years ago.
Do you remember working on the new 52?
I do.
What did you do in the new 52?
I did
in the new 52.
What did I do? I did Justice League International.
We're still working on
I kept wanting to say Justice League Europe, but I know that's not Justice League. It was Justice League International. And then, of course, Amethyst was part of the new 52.
Amethyst. You draw good chicks.
Thank you.
You would think I would be insecure.
Well, I have good taste. Well, you're my model, so, you know.
Yeah, I've altered for viewing pleasure.
Well, you're still my model.
I'm like, what, Europe? And not my feet.
One Wicked Evo does actually have One Wicked Eye as well.
Nice.
So,
all right, let's just talk about. Hi, Julie. Pascal. Gosh, I could just say that name all the time.
Considering what a tightwad Aaron is, he's actually a decent tipper. Wow.
Davey knows him.
Dave, this is for you. So.
What do you say? My husband's so tight he squeaks.
I am not, but I am a good tipper.
You are, and you do buy good bling most of the time. Yeah. Or I'll just buy it and say, look what you bought me.
Yes, I do. That was Shelley's birthday. Where Dave Stevens just showed up. We had so many birthdays. Just randomly.
San Diego.
I can't even remember who he was with or why he was there, but we were having your birthday party at that wine place right next to the Chinese place before it got closed down. Mm-hmm. And Dave Stevens came with somebody, and we just had a good old time.
So, Dave, I'm not coming this year, though. I'm a little bit sad because, well, it's not like this is laying out by the pool ever again.
Neither is
this. But, you know, I could take a nap. I don't know.
Going to meet Howard Chaykin at a con. He is a good dude.
We have some good stories.
Depends on when you catch him.
That's for Joel.
Let's see. Oh, it says Tobias the Ingenious Ginger Patrick. Hey, it's the Shelley Show. Aaron, I love your hat. Have I told you that lately? By the way, Andy Richter, Paul Schaefer, and even Ed McMahon sat to the host right. Just FYI. Here, this will help you move to the right a little bit.
Thanks, Tobias. Oh, you guys are so...
I can't even believe
so
it.
sweet.
I
still want to talk about my
pork
toe,
of loin. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I think it's funny,
Sir.
so I just put it up there.
Okay.
Sir Pork of Loin. Oh, he's talking about the Bugs Bunny clip. He goes, I knight you, sirloin of beef. It's actually sirloin of beef and a few other things.
Wow.
10:15 and
wow.
This might loosen you up a little bit. It's just the
breathe, Shelly, breathe.
The radical disrespect that I get is just, I can't even believe it.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, thanks, Jimmy.
Shelly, you let Aaron turn you into comic book character. I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did. Yeah. Back in the day.
Shelley Rogers, Ace Reporter. She was actually the niece of the Night Stalker, Darren McGavin. What was that character's name? He played an investigative reporter who was hunting down monsters. It was one of the worst television shows ever. I thought it was great when I was a kid, but looking back on it, sucks. But I can't remember. Oh, Kolchak. That was his name. And there's a picture of him in that frame. We've shown the page before where you were drawn into the comic. You were sitting on your couch on the phone, and then Kolchak's picture is on the end table next to the couch. And then, of course, the cover to Swamp Thing #9 is hanging above your head.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
How you remember stuff is amazing.
Yeah, I like Howard Chaykin very much. Just don't be stupid. That's
he uses big words.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of syllables.
I think he enjoys my stupidity. It makes him feel smarter. Well, Aaron really slaughtered my name. Oh, well, fair play, Aaron, fair play. Tobias, the indigenous Ginger Patrick. Okay.
Or ingenious.
Maybe I might have said ingenious. So I was giving you too much compliment. Yeah, I was giving you too much credit, apparently. So we disrespect you. We disrespect you because we like you, Aaron. Oh, that's Leg Kick. So Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here.
Yeah.
Well, Shelley, let's
skip Edward's art. That's new.
Let's moving right along. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Yeah.
I think it's important that that we do a public service announcement to start the show.
Okay.
What does that mean to you? It means, well, it can mean nothing to you. It could mean something to you, but we would like you to like us and subscribe if you haven't already.
We're so needy.
We are. We're begging.
Please.
Begging for your attention.
So like, subscribe, all that, whatever they say.
Tell your friends.
Whatever.
Lie about how good the show is and get more people to come in. Now, Shelley.
Uh-oh, what?
No,
you say that and look it.
No, look it. I found this thing that I wanted to show everybody. It's of a Western flair.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Oh, you guys.
But you guys will get a kick out of this. If you don't remember the show, The Wild Wild West. Do you ever remember that television show?
The Wild Wild West.
It was kind of like the Star Trek of Westerns. No, it was
okay.
You don't remember it at all.
You're having trouble with words.
There were secret agents. I'm trying to remember people's names.
Agent
in the Old West. They were on a train. There was a movie with Will Smith.
Well, so I was doing Wild Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah, but that movie was a remake of the television show.
Oh.
Now this is part of the intro to the Wild Wild West television show, and I want you to kind of look at it and then comment on what you see afterwards.
Oh, great. All right. Mm-hmm. I get a little watch this in my ear.
Now, do you think you could get away with that intro on today's TV?
But I liked the Kirk karate chop at the beginning.
Yeah, it gives the guy the karate chop. But it's nice. It's like a little comic book intro, and then he punches the chick. Now, I will say this.
Well, she looked like she was going to stab him in the back, and that's what I was thinking. Like, watch this.
Still, now, that doesn't, in the subsequent seasons, they changed that. So he only punches her, I believe, in the intro to the first season.
And see, we think, okay, that's funny because it
is funny.
It's funny, but hit her again. Dave says, hit her again. Get her. Try to stab me in the back.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah,
it was self-defense.
Jim West and Artemis Gordon, but I was trying to think of the actor's name, and I was going to say William Conrad, but that's kind of the fat guy that was in Cannon, the television show. It's something Conrad. Robert Conrad, not William Conrad. Robert Conrad was the star of this.
Angela Curry, when men were men.
That's right.
When they had testosterone.
And they punched women who tried to stab them.
I think one of my friends.
That's right.
Go down. Go down.
Yeah.
Mrs. Good Stuff.
Mrs. Good Stuff. Hi. She's your friend, but awesome. She's saying hi to everybody. You.
But
I don't know.
I feel it. So it's okay. I got you, girl.
See, Marcus Kilgore, he thinks that's awesome. See, look at this. Guys, they get it.
That's when how people still had a sense of humor and.
That was self-defense. That's so funny. It was. He was going to get stabbed.
Sean Connery. But I loved Sean Connery.
He made some comment about you have to everyone slapping a woman, or every once in a while you got to punch a woman or something like that to keep her in line. I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but
see, she loves me.
There she is. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we had so much fun on her show. Oh, it was so much fun.
The Wild Wild West art is Brohawk's influence for his Bass Reeves comics. Well, how about that?
Is there anything he doesn't know?
Louis Brightraven may be the greatest mind of pop culture that is alive today.
Ooh.
He's turning into one of those.
Gonna make you a certificate.
Episodes of The Outer Limits where people get really smart and their head just gets big. I think his head is because his brain is expansive. So,
wow.
Now that's an interesting right there. For all he knew, she may have been an NCAA women's swimmer.
I love it now. Okay, what's funny? Well, it's so funny now that Elon Musk is owning Twitter, although he's not there, and everybody is like, "Can I now say that he's a dude?"
Yeah.
Because before, you get shut down, right? Yeah.
Well, dudes are dudes. So Artemis Gordon was played by Ross Martin. Dave is letting us know because Dave is a pop culture.
You guys, our show is educational.
Smarty too.
Might not be entertaining, but it's certainly educational. Sorry.
Oh, here we go. Julie says, I think it was something like sometimes a woman deserves to be hit. Hard to say that's not true considering it didn't go over well, though. Well, that's true.
Right. But Sean Connery's one of my faves. Denzel, another one.
Yeah, I love the Big Head Outer Limit episode. See, he knows what I'm talking about.
Hi, Christopher. That's a new name, I think.
Yeah, he was quite active yesterday in the Comic Art Convo show.
Nice.
So he must be a B movie fan because there was plenty of B movie conversation. Jimmy Owens says for $2, thank you, Jimmy. Congratulations on finishing your work on Wraith.
Well done, honey. And you guys, seriously, I got to tell you, the amount of moving parts that, I mean, you've been in the industry for like forever because you're old, but should we all pause till you can distribute my punishment?
All right, go ahead.
But just so many things that, we were told this, but no, now this, and then
right, maybe this would be better. There, okay, is that better? No. That's straightening. Okay.
Nope. But yeah, just so many little things. And then he makes a list of stuff he still needs to do. And then it's like, oh my gosh. But I think now would be a really good time to share what we did. Yeah.
Is that a segue?
That I'm sure some of you are like, oh, it's a family show.
What did we do? Oh,
I teach high school. I have to think of these things. So we packed up some stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's what you want to talk about.
The other stuff I ain't having it.
We got.
Sorry, this is not water. I should tell you up front.
Get the puppets out. My gosh, it'll improve.
I'd rather be the puppet man.
Okay.
Or the muffin man.
So,
do you want to go get him?
No. Yeah. So we packaged up all what?
Not we. His 90-year-old mother.
This is true.
Packaged up the beanies and the shot glasses and what we ended up calling the combo platter,
which was a beanie and a shot glass in a single box.
And then some were 2 shot glasses. Thank you, Geek Avenger. And so we finally figured out. I got the printer hooked up. Wow, learning curve.
Yeah, it took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to figure out how to get the stupid thing to work.
Well, because then you got to figure out Because then you got to figure out like which
Wild West.
Sometimes you gotta smack around. Which service to go with, like for postage, and oh my gosh, it was.
Yeah,
but the printer is so cool.
I mean, just and there's a label. I mean, just that fast.
Zade Comics, got to give him a shout out. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, you'll be gonna writing Dale's new Pit series. Hopefully, you'll be able to light a fire under him and get it going.
I thought that too.
But
just keep him on, like
on that, man.
Show me what you did today. Show me what you did today. You guys are gonna have so much fun. This is really exciting.
Look at Dave just dropping Wild Wild West knowledge on us. Victor Buono.
Wow.
Buono, who played King Tut in Batman, he was the first villain. He was, because I watched that episode actually just like a couple of weeks ago. I was going through YouTube and came across it. I was like, I'm going to watch this, and I did. So,
Tobias might be my favorite person.
Shelley, you've been married to Aaron for how long? I am surprised
I did say,
the cup is so
where's
small.
The biggest cup in the house? We've been married 29 and a half years.
I'm sorry, just a minute.
Please. Oh.
Yeah, I got a little double action there. You're coming after me.
No, we've been married 29 and a half years.
Yeah, it'll be 30 in October.
Yep. Sorry. So we have this. Should I show?
I don't think
you guys probably don't care, but it was kind of fun.
There's a printer.
It's
a label
Rollo printer.
Rollo is a candy with the
Rollo to your friend.
All right.
And man, it worked so fast, but it was such a pain to figure out. Do you go with Easy Ship? Do you go with? And so we didn't until the end. I figured out. Oh, okay. Well, I think I can figure out how to get to import the comma separated.
And then she started. I mean, she was still typing in the names and addresses, but it was like every 2 minutes producing a label. So it actually started going pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. So anyway, Shelley, people often come up to me and they'll say, "What's Shelley like?" But after we get through that conversation,
medicated or unmedicated,
then they ask me.
Well, okay.
Here we go again. Apparently, these breaks are not long enough so that we can argue before we come back on camera.
Did you not want to talk about it? Like, it was kind of fun. Like, we're sending out our first Wraith of God stuff.
I know, but it's part of what's Aaron working on. So I wanted to run the promo.
Oh, see, we don't talk about it before. Because I tutored this morning. I did calculus this morning. My brain hurts.
Did you guys ever watch the show?
Is there air?
Do we even watch the show? Do you even know what we're doing? My gosh. Okay, so what am I working on? How about this? I've got an update.
We don't know what it is.
Got an update on it.
Oh, you lie.
I am lying. I have no update. I have no idea when this is coming out.
That there's no update.
There's no update. That's my update on this, but it's still really cool. I just looked at the story.
That's one of my favorites.
It's really kind of a cool story, and it's kind of unfortunate that they're sets.
Well, I think if he doesn't, we should crowdfund with him to do it.
Well, it's already paid for. I mean, he already paid me for it, so I can't exactly take it away from him. He has the right to print it. But,
tell him I will. Because darn it, he's going to be in town.
All right, let me share something.
Okay. Share away.
One of the things I had to get done also for Wraith of God.
Which is what you're working on.
Right. I mean, even though the book is done, and I just got the final proof from the designer. And it looks great, and it's going to the printer tomorrow. So, but that's more. There's more to it. Sorry. Look at. There's more to it than that. I have a rough sash can to put together. Right. So I've been working on that, and let me show you.
Been scanning
if I may. Let me show you the. Let me show you the cover.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice. Wraith of God. What?
Roughs. See, it's Roughs. And there's my name. I may change that to red because you can't really see it very well. And my name is so incredibly important that
I think red and bigger and bolder with arrows. Can you make it flash?
And underline. And so anyway, and it's now going to be square bound.
Square bound.
Because there's 48 pages, and I'm afraid if it's stapled, it's going to be a little thick for staples.
We're all about quality here. We don't want.
We are.
We don't want to, even though it's
deadly.
It's like a freebie, right?
No.
Oh, it's an add-on. Oh, yeah. So got to make sure it's really good.
But it doesn't have every rough page in the book. It only has 48 pages.
Is that all?
Of course, yeah. And there's 79 pages in the book. But I took the best of the best and put them in there. And
I think that's somewhat as interesting as for people that are creating their own as the finish. Like, what's your process?
Right. And so you can actually look at this and compare it to pages that are in the book and see what I started with and maybe what I finished
how you changed it. And then even where the word balloon placement is, because that was a big thing this week.
Yeah. There was a lot of conversation about that.
So many little tiny things that, and really you're just down to just the last little details.
Yeah. This, which will go out to the printer this week, probably tomorrow as well. And then the last print that everybody gets. And that'll be done, of course, before the books get back from the printer. So I wanted to share that.
The printer. Don't get me started.
And we're not going to get started.
Nope. We're not going there.
But I'm going to close this and hopefully nothing will explode.
Oh, we're in trouble. Are you not wanting to? There you go.
There we are. Okay. So, but I also,
sorry.
I want to get a plug in since we're talking about what I'm working on. Dave Olbrich. Dave Olbrich has a YouTube channel called Geek View Tavern, and we're gonna run. I'm gonna run a little snippet.
Oh, are you?
Of it.
Oh, very cool.
If I may. Dave's show, and I would. Wrong thing. It's all about hitting the right buttons, Shelley.
Yeah, you push mine all the time. Pretty good at it.
Goes both ways,
full
sister.
Screen, maybe.
Full
screen over here, hon. Maybe.
If it blows up, this is on you.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. We're watching it to see if it actually
delay. We're so good at this.
Yeah.
We're so tech savvy. Woo!
There it is.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
We're still on screen.
I know.
Okay, so let me play. Just play a little bit of this.
Okay.
How cool is that? Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I would have expected out of the top 10, maybe I would have got, I don't know, 4 or 5 covers, but I never would have dreamed that I would get number 1. So.
There we go. Gosh. So there you go. There's a little preview of my comedy with Dave Olbrich, and it's a really terrific show. He does a really nice job with the production values on it, and so check that out on YouTube.
Subscribe.
There is a link. There's a link.
Nice, Aaron.
In here to go check out Dave's Geek View Tavern show on YouTube, where they talk about all the Ultraverse.
Have we known Dave now like over 20 years?
Since '93. So you do the math. You're the mathematician.
Our first child was born in '93.
Yeah.
Man, we're old. You know what that means, though, Dave?
Dave's super old.
Sorry, Dave.
I'm old. Dave is really old.
But yeah, we've been friends forever.
Yeah, so you want to check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. And they're like, just 15-minute videos where Tom Mason's on there with them regularly.
Let's recap that one. So he goes through like the top covers for the Ultraverse.
Right. And I just happened to So that's what the interview's about.
What was SpongeBob? He was number 1.
That's right.
I know all sorts of good stuff.
So much. Look at 79 comments.
Oh my gosh.
We're behind like
you
crazy.
Need to
hey, it's content, sister.
Okay.
Let's just move right along here. Can I respectfully ask that no one flashes during the broadcast?
I'll do what I can. Ooh, what's that?
Yep, he's been having an issue with props. CID teacher told me that seems like a private conversation that we won't get into.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that worth a?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm just going to ignore you on that one, Past Master Dan. We see. Let's see. We see Lopresti. We think Shelley. Good selling point.
Oh, thanks, bud.
I've exploited my wife. It's true for ratings. It's terrible, but true.
Oh well,
I admit it.
But again, I'm going to say it one more time. My toe hurts. I broke my little toe.
She complained.
Sure.
Oh my gosh,
It hurts.
Quit walking into walls, and it won't.
Purple, all the way down like into my foot. Into my foot.
Now, Stat Zero says, now that I'm going to now that I'm going to eat my Wraith of God and Garbage Man soon, I can start complaining about how I don't have my Aranthology yet. Oh, well, okay. Well,
you got some work to do then.
I know. I got work to do. I've always got work to do.
There you go.
Look at that. Dave's got it figured out. You're a good egg, Lopresti. And you know what, Dave? You're quality bacon. So together we're eggs and bacon, and I think that's a good thing.
So you guys should look up Jim Gaffigan. His baking stuff is good.
Look at Jimmy being all sweet to you. Isn't that nice?
I love Jimmy.
Jimmy's a great guy.
He's so sweet.
He is.
What are you doing? He's just scrolling through.
Well, I can't find everything because we have too many. Oh, there it is. See, I did that to be nice. That was nice. Good. See, it just took me a while to find it because thank you for the $3, Jimmy. Save your money, though. We appreciate
Jimmy. You're so sweet.
Oh, Dave loves you too, Shelley. So and he spelled your name correctly. So
Davey would be Davey.
I do have the best friends. I don't have many of them, but the ones I do have are actually pretty quality.
Yep.
Phil, thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, Phil, I'm feeling so good about myself.
Yeah.
Say thanks, Mom and Dad.
He was just a glimmer in Sledge's eye.
Same age as our
Dave's
son.
super old. Dave's talking about himself in like third person. George is getting angry. They won't allow you to type much for $3, but telling Erin Lopresti I'm not hitting on her. She's just a very good special friend of mine.
I love me, my Jimmy.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Randy.
No, you know what? The only people that hit on Shelley are like fat Italian stage dressers in Europe. So that's
oh my gosh.
You know what?
That was so awkward.
Howard Chaykin comes up to me at dinner and he says, "You know that guy's hitting on your wife?" And I said, "She can take care of herself. Give me another German sausage." He was too. Chaykin was there.
Was he?
Yes.
I just remember we were
at that dinner and that Pavarotti guy or whatever
he was a set designer for the opera.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he was speaking French we were in it was like a multicultural event, like some kind of restaurant.
Everybody in Europe is multicultural.
Well, no, we were in Germany in a
French restaurant or something like that. Yeah.
Speaking French with some Italian dude and
yeah.
And
I was down there talking with Chaykin. And they're going, je te toi, je te toi, je te toi.
Oh la la.
It's like those French have a different word for everything. Anyway, Randy Howell sends us $2. Says Wraith Wild West crossover. Probably not, but that would be great, wouldn't it?
That would be. And Esther gets punched and she gets up and then just takes him to the cleaners.
I need someone with some animation skills out there to emulate the Wild West intro, but put the Wraith and Esther in there and have the Wraith punch
and then
Esther.
She
that
just
would be
cleans his clock.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, look at that. What kind of product would be branded Dave's super old?
Wasn't there a Super Dave?
Yeah, there was Super Dave Osborne. That's right.
How are you?
Look at that. Shelley, my wife's toe hurts too.
Oh my gosh, did she kick the door jam too? Oh gosh.
Goodness.
Being a physics teacher, I guess I could figure out the force, but wow,
I can answer that question. Paris, and she's been there twice already, thanks to me, not Pavarotti. Oui. Pavarotti did not get her there.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get that to open.
Click.
Who signed the Lord Pumpkin Zero? Me. Why wouldn't I have done it?
That would be me.
I don't know, Dave. I don't know what you're getting at.
No.
I graduated high school in 94. You're not that old. I graduated high school in 82, so.
And I'm 84, so.
Erin and Shelley should take this on the road. Lopresti stories. Yeah, we sit at a con and it will tell about how.
Oh my gosh, we have so many stories.
Frenchmen hit on Shelley. And I guess he was Italian.
Oh, he's Italian.
Speaking French.
Oui.
But who was that French guy that invited us over to his house at the convention when you were talking about how do you say Erin in French and then Shelley in French?
That was Semi. He was Italian.
No, but there was that bald guy. Remember? He was sitting back there and he was like.
Right. And if we were in Paris, we could go see him. You knew it.
Shelley's always working the angle.
Well.
There you go. Have Narwhal do it. His art resembles a Wild West palette. I know there's somebody who runs around and does like animation stuff. He's doing your favorite. Nosferatu.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not bad, but
my wife hurt her toe as well, kicking me.
Getting not married. No, seriously, it was I was playing with the dog and I ran away and ran right into the door jamb. But yeah.
Yeah, and then I explained to Shelly that opening doors is the process for getting into another room.
Well, it wasn't the door itself; it was at the hinge.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So even if I was going to go physics there for a minute and talk about torque, but
you already tried to talk about the printer, so I'm going to have to.
I know. It's kind of exciting.
It is.
Something actually works.
Well, it works well too.
Oh my gosh, it was so fast.
Work, but it works well
for us to get it to work. Right?
Do you have any of these?
Just one.
Well, let me run the intro and you can do it.
Ooh, okay. It's on. Sorry, I was drinking. As usual, I was drinking.
She's like the Dean Martin of the Aaron and Shelley show.
No, Dean Martin had apple juice. From what I hear.
always faked like he was drunk, but he was
right. All right, so yeah, I'm not very prepared, but I posted earlier. There's a PayPal link, and I talked about it last week. Luke Stone, super sick with COVID, I believe, and is now like paralyzed on one side, so he can't play his guitar. So I had this idea with Celius. I was like, I guess you can get a keyboard that I was going to say mimics the sound, but so anyway, I have posted on Twitter for his PayPal address, but I want to invite everybody to help out with him buying the keyboard and paying off some medical bills because it was pretty gnarly from the pictures. I mean, hooked up to a ventilator. Oh, wow. Anyway, that's just something that I want to encourage everybody to think about. It's in the comments. It's on my Twitter feed, and I will post it again. But it's lukestonestudios@gmail.com.
There you go.
If you can help out even a couple bucks, I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated.
So that's very nice. You go. Thank you very much. And we'll segue into eating.
Oh, hey.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right, so things have changed around here. Shelly's like, we got to start eating better.
Yeah.
We got to get healthy.
As I'm drinking not water.
This is my snack. Grapes.
And our viewership just went down to 0. I don't have anything.
You never grape?
Nah. No, we're getting older. It just happens.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. But right now I'm eating grapes.
Right. See, used to break her little toe like 9,000 times. Seriously, I made up new swear words. It was.
Oh, I think she got rid of her toe. Oh, got rid of the furniture. So now then they set on the floor. That is pathetic. I assume he's talking about your toe. I don't know. Or the grapes, maybe.
The grapes. Okay. Not my toe. Dave wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But it is all purple. Can we just do that? See?
That's right. I bit her toe.
My toe
and I thought,
was like
it was a grape. And,
holy cow. Messed up my pedicure and everything.
On the floor and it was her toe.
Oh, spoonful of peanut butter. You do that a lot.
I do what?
Spoonful of peanut butter.
Oh, I do.
Oh, wait.
What? Next is prunes.
No, I'll never be that old.
This down one. Okay. At least dip those grapes in chocolate or something.
Oh my gosh, like fermented grapes. That was one. Because you guys keep wait.
Where is it?
Right there.
Finally, 4 clicks later, we get the one that she actually wants. She keeps pointing at ones that I click on. I go, no, not that one. I go, then quit pointing at it.
The last one, one of my favorite shows when you clicked on it and it was Randy Howell. Peanuts give dogs diarrhea.
Yeah,
that was the best.
This will clear out your system too. So
clear your right out. Lose a few pounds in the process.
That's exactly right. Geek Avenger is here, and it was his birthday, right? Coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So he'll be the new 52. If you put grapes in a freezer, they become like candy. They don't freeze completely solid. I know that for a fact.
That is so good.
And I appreciate you saying that because I actually did know that.
They're already starting to get soft.
Yeah.
So get them in there.
Neat.
Grapes of Wraith.
Woo!
That's brilliant.
That's clever.
That
I like that.
Brilliant.
I like that very much. That's very good.
Brilliant.
You know, that is
that you got to give him something.
So good that I'm going to do. Right. Yep. That was a valuable contribution. I appreciate that. Good humor.
And that's it, folks.
That's the show. Thanks for joining us. And okay.
Yeah, we don't feed the dog. Where's the dog?
Dogs do not.
We don't feed the dog.
You don't feed the dog.
Comma.
No. He's here with Grandma.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he loves her so much. He just scratches at her door.
Let's watch this again, though. She had that knife in her hair. That's something you would pull. You get a lot of hair.
I could do the messy bun and pull the
knife out of the hair.
I could house a small family
in your hair.
In my hair half the time.
Okay, I just wanted to run that again because it's so politically incorrect too.
But you know, I like it.
That's the sequel title. He's got it. Okay. Okay.
What else you got? Moving right along.
No, we have a clip for that, Shelley. You're not supposed to sing it, so I can do this.
Moving right along.
Okay.
Footloose and fancy free.
I think it's time we do a little rights and appreciation, shall we?
Yes.
Let's do it.
More than ever.
Oh, she broke her toe. She just broke her finger. She's like swinging her arms around, punching things.
I was gonna gesticulate.
What did you think of that?
Wow. No, how?
That was a Diplodocus. That was part of Wrightson's.
Diplodocus.
Yeah, that was part of Wrightson's 5 dinosaur poster series in the 70s.
You know, I didn't like is how the light coming through the clouds was solid.
Wow.
That was the only thing I didn't like.
So you'd wanted it to be transparent.
Kind of more, I don't know. See, I just...
Illucent, effervescent, glowing. So anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool poster that Wrightson did, like I said, 5 dinosaur posters. And we're going to look at every single one of them as the weeks roll on ahead of us. And so Shelley can criticize them. No, it's too much money.
Basis for divorce. She didn't like the Wrightson dinosaur. I mean, I did. He definitely showed the girth quite well of the.
Yeah, you could like squeeze his.
Squeeze it.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the Wild Wild West again. There, if you think about it, her pulling a knife out means she was as dangerous as any man, not to be underestimated, and set the tone for the show. There you go. So it's just actual equal opportunity, punching, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, if you're gonna, pull a knife, you got to play the game.
See now, Dave said, "Oh, sorry, where did it go?"
See,
Dave is saying that I'm too tight to divorce you. I'm a tight wad because it
squeaks, my friend.
That's not true.
Wait, Burns and Allen, we now. Oh, thanks, Leg Kick. There was something that I think we missed a comment. Maybe
I don't know if he's saying we're old or if he's. But thank you. Girth is the word we're looking for. Yeah, you're right, Phil.
Question. Leg kick.
Where?
Leg kick.
Like, can we filter by leg kick?
Oh.
What did he say?
Have another White Claw. You won't feel the toe. We don't have any White Claw, but I do have.
What are you drinking, Shelley?
I have no idea. That's what makes it fun. No.
Look at that. Derail Gaming just backed the book. What a slacker I am.
Boom.
But I appreciate it anyway. Better late than never. It's still open, so anytime's a good time. Thank you. You're what, the bottle? Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't think you were going to drink the whole bottle.
Well, you thought wrong.
Are you going to go get it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Shelley would get half of Aaron's comic collection. That's exactly right. So that's the main reason that we will never split up, because I'm not giving up those comics. Of course, I'm joking, but about splitting up, not the comics. If I can make it through old age, retirement, my son will inherit those comics, and then he'll probably sell them. Actually, he's a bit of a collector himself, so he probably wouldn't, or at least not all of them. Darkside Darren says, I backed Dale's cover. Hey, thank you so much. I'll tell you, I've been complaining about Dale's cover recently because people have been contacting me wanting to refund their money for my cover so they could buy Dale's.
Blasphemy.
I know. But, you know.
No prenup?
It's Dale Keough. So
no prenup.
All right.
How much?
Oh, Henry Bemis was suggesting that you'd get half my comic collection if we got divorced. And I was like, that's the main reason we're not getting divorced. And then I said, of course, we're joking.
Oh, yes. Leg kick. Gotcha.
Okay. Leg kick says, no, my question was, are you sticking with horror comics after Wraith? Or is it too... I've revealed my plan many times, haven't I?
I think you need to again, though.
Well, we're going to do something that is tentatively called Empire Events, #1. And it will feature Wraith of God as a complete story, Wraith of God story called Blood Hunters. It will also feature a complete Garbage Man story called Night of the Living Jed that has nothing to do with... This was written way before our daughter's friend. Let's put it that way. So it's Night of the Living Jed. And then, of course, there's a nightclub story, which is the new super team that premiered in the Garbage Man trade paperback. And we also get a taste of those in the epilogue with the Wraith of God graphic novel. And they'll have their first story, which is called Trunk. And you'll just have to wait and see what that's about. And then we may get Kit Carter as a stretch goal. Too. So it could be an epic, another 84-page graphic novel with at least 3, perhaps 4 complete stories in it. So I don't want to call it an anthology because they're interconnected. No. It's more like getting 4 separate issues of a Lopresti-verse comics all in one package. That's what it is.
Right. So yes, you are working on a banner.
Yes.
Because he's going to take it to San Diego.
For the new conventions season. Actually, for I'm doing the Washington State Summer Con as well, and I want it for that, which is June 19th.
When's your next one? Is that the next one?
No, the next one's in Salem, May.
Oregon.
I don't know, 2 weeks from now.
Ooh.
It's just a one-day show, a small one-day show, but I'll be there.
Am I going to any of them?
That's apparently not. Nope.
Well, okay, so we left our dog when we went to Phoenix, and he's still...
Christina Lynn has good taste. You can say that right now.
It's my girl. He still, loses his voice. Oh, my... Eric the Guapo. Nice. Nice. Chicks was fun.
Yeah, but as I said, I don't know that all the people involved in the comic would work with me at this point because of political unrest in the industry.
Guys, the stories I could sell.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that the one in Puyallup? It is the one in Puyallup. I will be there.
He'll be there. Josh is going to be there.
I'll
stay home with the dog and grandma.
Well, a lot of people. I'm sorry. Are we talking about 2 different things?
Normally.
Grandma? Yeah.
Well, she's 90, so we don't like leaving her home alone.
Right.
And then when we left our dog to go to Phoenix, we put him at a great place, we thought. I mean, it was, except he's a barker. Have you guys realized that one? And he came back and lost his voice, and he still has some, when he barks, he loses his voice cracks. So I don't want to leave him. So
Dave, honestly, Dave, tell me what you really think. Don't hold back your opinion.
Don't sugarcoat it just for us, Dave.
I'm working on several options. But
what is a Puyallup? It's a little town.
Actually, that's a Indian tribe or something, isn't it? It's an Indian name. I know that.
Probably.
Anyway, so according to Dave, it shouldn't be called Empire Events. Maybe it should be called Empire Explosion. Maybe it should be called
Empire Extravaganza.
It'll be called something. But I actually have been thinking about the name. Does it have enough punch? And even though I'm running an ad in the book, that's the second time you've done that. Actually running an ad for it in the book, the name may change.
So there's a little Shatner.
Now he's talking. Will you quit? You're kicking stuff with your knee. You're hitting stuff with your hand.
I am losing it. So
wherever Bill Shatner goes, I go.
Shatner made a comment on Elon Musk's post.
Yes.
And I invited them to our show.
I'm sure he'll
he's just like running. It's on his top 10 list.
Running over.
Must respond to this weird person. And
shall I?
Buddy.
I didn't buy anything.
What did you buy?
I didn't buy anything. That was just a
last
joke.
Week you what?
I didn't buy. You
surprised me last week. Well, look what I bought.
Well, I didn't buy anything this
week.
I was just turning that on so you get all pissy, and it worked.
And I did. It worked.
So
what'd you buy?
Nothing. I didn't buy anything. It was grapes? A joke.
Okay. I know.
All right.
It's cheap.
Okay.
Not really. Not really. I don't have any of my jewelry on. Next week I'll wear it.
Yeah, wear all your expensive jewelry.
So, just a quick reminder. Luke Stone.
Yeah.
Studios at gmail.com. PayPal.
That's right. But now let's do this.
I think those are like shows the inspiration of. That's it right there. That is it.
That's some quality artwork, but that's not what I'm going to show you today. We've seen it before, but I just think it's worth the.
It's your
it's worth quality there. See what
nice warm up.
You man the comments while I do this.
Would you call me? Would you call me?
You heard me. So I oftentimes, Shelley, will go through my flat files and find stuff that is half drawn. Like I did last week. I showed a bunch of stuff that wasn't completed, and I found some more interesting stuff that wasn't completed that maybe someday will be. Let's take a look at this. This is a thing.
A thing.
This was going to be a print featuring the cosmic heroes of Marvel. You see the Silver Surfer, Galactus, the Watcher, Ms. Marvel, the original Ms. Marvel from the 70s.
Not the one now.
No, the one from the 70s. It's the same character but different costume. Our Captain Marvel, the dude version of Captain Marvel, Thanos. This is Warlock, not Doctor Strange up here. And then I think I have Gamora right in here. So this was going to be a print. I started working on it, and this is on 20-pound copy paper, and it's sitting in the drawer. So maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Nice.
Ooh. Right. We got these again.
What's that?
I think
that's your finest work. Yeah.
It is. Okay, so here's I found this. Now this is from Damage. This is the original cover sketch.
Oh, right.
When he fought Kongorilla, or Kongorilla guest starred in the issue, I guess I should say. And I had Kongorilla sort of at an angle, sort of looking at him like, what do you think you're going to do, pal? And it just, for some reason, it didn't work for me. So I did the straight-on version, which actually I thought turned out pretty well. But this was a early rough of the cover that I got this far and decided that's not the direction I wanted to go exactly. So I redrew it, which shouldn't be a shock to anybody.
No. You've had almost completed pages that you started over.
It's true. Okay, this was a cover I did for Valiant. This is Ninjak, and that's a Chinese dragon that he's fighting, which I think is kind of cool. See that there? I ended up inking this and coloring it, and eventually it sat for a long, long time, but they finally used it on some Ninjak comic. This is a few years ago.
Yeah, Eric the Wappa says he wished that DC did more with Damage. And that was the original plan, I believe.
Well,
wasn't it?
Well, yeah, they were ongoing series. I think Dan DiDio had big hopes that those books would continue on, part of that sort of new universe of characters that they brought in. But alas, they all died.
Did they really, though?
Which is, Well, they fell out of favor with the fans, so the sales were not there.
Right.
Which, it's funny how quickly things turned in the industry from not wanting new material to suddenly everybody wanting new material. But that was during a period of time when people were not really, they wanted their Superman and Batman and the regular characters. They didn't want any new stuff, even though I thought Damage was a pretty good book.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm saying that because I worked on it, but it was well written and it was a fun book. So, but such is the way of the comic.
That's for sure.
So anyway, that was what was in my flat files this week.
Good job.
This is another grape. Very healthy snack. First one told.
Kind of sugary, but at least natural.
You're right. The old man is correct. New material is hot. It is.
Yeah.
Because we're sick of what they're doing to the old material. Oh shit.
Well, and that's why I think you should finish that one, because it is how they should be.
Oh, that's cool. I love seeing John Buscema has a ton of that stuff floating around of, just like little drawings and, character drawings and headshots and things like that. That mine are on napkins and stuff.
I was just going to say, or it could be in our house and be on a napkin and be like gnarly hands or big nose and chin. And
there's piles of that stuff. I guess maybe next time I should pull those out of the flat files and we could look at all the gnarly old dudes with big noses I draw on napkins and stuff all day long.
Yep.
But now.
Oh no.
But now, Shelley, it's time to find out.
What's it worth?
This is the segment of the show where I pull out my.
Show how stupid Shelley is.
No, that comes later. This is the 1976 price guide. The very first.
Your very first one that you ever bought.
Very first one I ever bought.
But did you know that you have the cover of this year's?
I do.
Just saying.
One of them. There's multi-covers, but you do have the option of getting the Lopresti cover. That is correct. So let's take a look at a comic that I don't have right now. Sadly.
That's sad.
It is. This is Tales of Suspense number 58 from 1965, I think. This is the starting of the solo adventures of Captain America. The first, he had his own solo series in Tales of Suspense before he got his own title. Right, he first appeared in Avengers number 4, which I actually do have.
Yes,
of
course you do.
Yeah, and this I don't have, but I do want it. It's his first appearance in Tales of Suspense. He fights Iron Man in this issue, and in the next issue, his separate stories take off.
Why would he fight Iron Man? Who knows?
Because there's always misunderstandings in comics.
Oh.
Right? And then they get in fights, and then they decide after they fight for a while, they'll go, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody else.
Okay.
Okay, so back in 1976, Shelley, I could have cheated.
Sorry, cheating.
I could have got this for, in near mint condition,
$10.
No, $2. You don't guess that part.
I don't
guess how much it's worth now.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
So, Leg Kick, 1976, the year I was born, Aaron. That's what Leg Kick says.
66?
76.
Oh.
So he's 12 years younger than me.
10 years younger than me.
Oh.
65. Marcus
is
in betweener.
He's a year younger than me.
And a year older than me.
Oh, look at that. Henry Bemis says, I have a low to mid-grade copy of that book. Absolutely classic cover. Nice. The interesting thing about this cover is if you go mid-grade to low grade, it's actually fairly affordable.
Oh.
It's only really expensive in near mint. Now, let me before you guess, Shelley.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
This is a book that I could afford, but it would be painful. But so
which
it's one that I'm
nothing because now a couple $100 is painful.
No, but
paying our cell phone bills is painful.
Trying to keep you
okay
in perspective that you don't guess something like $100,000 because obviously I would never get a $100,000 comic. But this is a book that I could get, but it would be painful. And I want to get it, but we'll see.
Okay.
So what do you think?
$4,000.
That would be way too painful for me.
That would require medication.
That's right. We are talking. Past Master Dan.
What?
Not even close.
But thank you for trying.
Thanks for trying. Thanks for playing our game. You went way over, so therefore you're eliminated. This book,
Jingle the Bells.
Kind of.
What a frog! Oh my gosh, it's the best. Dingle the bells.
Dingle the bells and subscribe. It's like Christmas.
Love it.
Okay, so this thing right now, depending on the situation you're in, about between $1,900 and $2,200.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, but it was a $2 book in 1976, and now it's a $2,000 book.
Yeah, should have got one.
I know, but I didn't see. That's what my son always says. Josh always says, "Why didn't you get that one? Why didn't you get that? Why didn't you get?" And I'm like, there were not a ton of comics on the West Coast back in the day. It's readily available.
Oh, I got it.
So we'd have to go to used bookstores in Portland, and we found what we could find. And I bought what I could find, and I never saw a copy of this.
Here's a good guess.
$44 billion. Oh, wait, that was for Twitter. Well, close.
But oh my gosh, that was the best money that guy ever spent.
Marcus
cracking me up.
Getting there. Christina Lynn, sorry, Christina, way under, but at least you're under, so you get to play in the next round.
So you can play for the showcase.
Yeah, so we're looking at basically $2,000 for this book, which,
well,
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see when it happens, if it happens.
Awesome.
But it's on my radar. So anyway, but so that's your little comic education portion of our show. Excuse me.
Educational, not entertaining, but educational.
But here's something that Shelley really likes. Tell us how much you like it, Shelley.
This is my favorite part.
Okay, here it is.
Every day.
Because
do it.
We need to go back.
Click it.
And appreciate the precious moments.
Push a button.
Yesteryear.
Click it. Do it. I didn't know you got me on video after I hit my toe. That was pretty good. What the heck? That's exactly what I did after I slammed my little pinky toe. Gosh. How can one little toe? It's only that big. I made up some swear words. My own. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. And so he ends the thing by going, I had to cut it off, because we don't want to go too long and get flagged.
You know what that looked like?
What?
My tap dancing. So it looked like when I tap danced.
You weren't quite that fast. And so then he goes at the end, he goes, hoodle-lay, hoodle-lay, and the guy wraps him on the end of the head.
You do that all the time.
And he's like, hoodle-lay, So anyway,
oh
Dave Ulrich knows because he watches that stuff.
Of course he does.
And you know what I'm going to do, Shelley, after the show? I'm going to mow the lawn. You know why?
Ooh.
Because it's sunny outside and it's going to rain tomorrow. So I've got
Is it really? Yeah.
Okay, I've done a lot of...
you did a lot
I've got a Bugs Bunnyism.
Do this one.
I'm going to tell the story first.
Okay. Ooh!
I was just on a stream with somebody, and it was
shall remain nameless?
No, I can't remember if it was either Irene or it was Mandy. Was in the frame next to me.
Yeah.
And they said, I was in Hoboken. And I said,
Hoboken? Oh, I'm dying again.
That's what you do.
And nobody got it.
No.
Nobody got it.
That is not okay.
I know.
We do that all the time because we stayed in Hoboken. Hoboken?
Ooh, I'm dying. So anyway, that's what that's from.
That was I think my first trip to Marvel. We stayed in Hoboken.
Yeah, you're right. It was because we stayed with my two friends who were girls from high school.
Yeah. Penguins are practically chickens.
And I hate to see chickens cry so much that has to put them out of their misery. Yep. There it is. He knows. Yep. You know, I think it's interesting that who has not shown up in this chat. Peyton has not showed up in this chat. Because he knows if he does, he's going to get blown up.
He's got some cannonballs heading his way.
You have to start hanging out with cultural. You got to stop hanging out with cultural illiterates. That is the truth, Dave, and you're one of them.
Oh, I'm dying.
I know. I miss Looney Tunes too. It's funny. I just went to get one Looney Tunes clip, and I was like, I started remembering that. I was grabbing them and saying, I got to use that sometime. So anyway, But we do have more to the show.
Ooh.
Now, I want to warn everybody that this is a very clip-heavy segment. And I've tried to edit the clips.
Which means he doesn't need me.
So, no.
Oh.
Oh, no. You're not going anywhere.
Okay.
But if I get flagged and we go black, hang around because he'll come back in about 2 minutes. But I don't think I will.
Okay.
But I'm rolling the dice. So hang with me just in case.
Okay.
So this is the portion of the show where we find out.
Oh no.
We find out just what Shelly knows.
No.
All right, Shelly, I'm going to play you clips from shows.
Okay.
The intros to shows.
Okay,
I want you to tell me if you know what the name of the show is. It seems easy, right?
It does.
Well, let's take a look at the first one.
Like
Are you ready?
I wouldn't want.
Now the first one's easy.
Okay.
And then just kind of warm you up. Are you ready?
Okay, warming up. I'm not going to pull anything.
Here's the first one.
Okay.
And then I cut out of there before I get flagged. So, Shelly, can you tell us what television show?
Mission Impossible.
Excellent.
Yes. I got one.
There's one down.
Uranus.
Up.
Oh, I ruined it. Okay, what's next?
That's next.
Mission Uranus. Okay. Oh, he goes back up. Okay. Next one.
All right.
Okay.
Clip.
Okay. I'm 1 for 1.
Number 2. This is going to be a little bit harder. We'll see just how.
Okay.
This ran for 5 years. Started in the 60s, finished off in the 70s. So, okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I got it. On chick.
Yep.
It's got that and the blonde chick, and you said yes, and it's
yes. Wait for it. I
knew it. Something squad.
You're half right. If you're hip, if you're there.
Mod.
Yes!
Mod Squad.
The Mod Squad.
Our pizza place.
Woo! Let's drink to that. Yeah,
thanks, Ann.
They had it, Mod Squad. They were there.
Nice. Uranus Squad.
You've destroyed our show. Okay.
Okay, what else?
Okay. Are you ready? Here's our third clip.
Okay.
Which one is this? Oh, okay.
We did that one.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes. Okay. Go.
Here where we need you. The tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. See, Shelly's been drinking and puppet show starts. Oh my gosh.
Welcome
it's
back,
just like
Connor!
Welcome back, Connor is correct. All right. Look at Shelly go. God.
Okay.
All right. We've got
I'm
3.
3 for 3.
Oh my goodness. You
Watch me
are.
go.
This is impressive.
Yep.
Ugh, Cotter. Randy doesn't like Welcome Back, Cotter. That's too bad.
Welcome
the name
back.
Epstein didn't age well. Travolta's Closet. Oh my gosh. Oh. All righty. Okay.
Okay. What else you got?
Oh, this is a good one. That's a good guess.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to kick Daniel Russell off the show. Oh, Eric. All of these are way before my time, possibly before my parents' time too.
Another one.
Oh, Shelley doesn't like that either. So.
Nope.
Okay, is that enough?
Yeah.
Do we get our point across?
Oh yeah, the sweat hogs.
Yeah, the sweat hogs. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we have another one. We have a couple more.
Okay.
All right. This will be a little bit tougher.
Oh, great. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Do it.
And I want you to know that I cut out. I played
Do it already.
Hang on a second. I cut out the music. I did a little bit of editing so you could see who guest starred in this particular episode.
Oh, okay, good.
So
okay.
it's kind of okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Watch your monitors.
Okay.
Special guest star William Shatner. Tonight's episode: To Catch a Dead Man.
Who is that, Shelley?
Barnaby Jones.
Yes! Look at her go! Woo! Now here's the funny thing about Barnaby Jones, if I may segue.
Yes, you may.
Okay, if you've seen the pilot episode is he's a private detective, right? He's an old dude, right? Buddy Epson.
Sorry.
Okay. So can I continue my story, please? For the love of God, will you let me continue my story? So in the pilot, Buddy Ebsen's this old private detective, and he's retiring, right? And his son is taking over his business. And his son's wife is Lee Merriweather.
Oh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is he goes on, picks up this case that Barnaby Jones is leaving behind. They have this big retirement party, and his son picks up the case. His son gets killed in a phone booth, I believe.
That's so sad.
Okay, so now his son's wife, and Barnaby Jones solved the case. And Barnaby Jones then goes back into the detective agency, and that starts up the whole series.
Gotcha.
But the very beginning episode, he's so freaking old, he's retiring. But now he's back in the game? Come on.
He's like us.
Come on. Yeah.
Old,
retired, but still in the game,
he's
baby.
Private. Cue the language clip.
Okay, so I'm surprised. I'm not surprised.
Are you impressed?
I'm impressed.
Thank you very much.
I'm a little surprised too. Okay, let's try clip number 5.
Okay.
You ready?
No jive. Okay. I love that show. It's Barney Miller.
Whoa, she is 5 for 5. Are you kidding me?
I did nothing. Apparently, we watched TV.
Okay. Well, I guess I should have made these harder, but
no, I'm just that good.
Okay. Well, here's one more with another great theme song. Are we ready?
Oh my gosh,
this is the final one. I should have done like 20. I could have done 20.
Okay.
Here it is.
Okay, go.
Look at the viewership's dropping like a rock.
I know. It's exciting.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
What 5? Oh.
Yeah, she got them all.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is true.
This is the first time probably ever.
Does know 70s TV. Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's some quality stuff right there.
Booyah.
You know, he's right. Barney Miller still is funny. It is.
Yep. Oh my gosh, you guys, that was fun.
You know,
he was born old. That's right. He was born.
He was like old in the Godfather movies. And then he was old, and I thought the guy was dead, and he was still alive doing other shows. And so,
yep.
Yeah, Dave's in there. He knows that.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. Let's do that again.
Oh look, Uranus 5-0. That's
sorry, that was really loud. I do that right into the microphone. That was a good one.
Yeah. Wasn't that fun?
That was a good one. Yeah.
That was fun. Did Ava go to play fish or Vince Clough?
It's good. No, $6 million. I would have got that one in a heartbeat. Yeah. Or the Bionic Woman.
There was so many to choose from. I was downloading them like crazy. I'm like, I can't do like 20. But yes, we did 6. Yeah. So you got them all. So Shelley knows 70s TV. All right. So we're going to take a bit of a somber moment, sadly.
Oh, okay.
And Neal Adams passed away recently. Now, I didn't know Neal. I mean, I'd met him a couple times, And the longest conversation I had with him was at a show in Boston where he lectured me for about 20 minutes on charging for my autographs.
Right. Oh, I remember that. So, like, because you never do.
And I kept saying, I kept saying, Neal, I'm not Neal Adams. Neal, I'm not Neal Adams. And, because he was like, charge $20 or something, Right. And then his son said afterwards, as he was walking away, he says, don't mind him. He goes, he just wants you to charge more so he can charge more. So
well, and yeah, I can remember you talking about that. Like, it's just my signature, and
yeah. No, I do charge because
super humble. Well, because the people will come up with like a stack of this.
When you've been in comics as long as I have, and you're that old, people start bringing you boxes of stuff, and you're like, okay, I'm not signing all those unless you pay me to sign all those.
Right. So, or we would limit it to like 5.
Yeah.
Well, and then they would get back in line and do 5 and then get back in line. Yeah.
Yeah. So, $1 for the first 5, or free for the first 5, and then anything after that is $1 a piece or something like that. But anyway, so it got me thinking, Neal was like Frazetta for most people, because you talk to any comic book artist and all of them had Neal Adams influence to a certain degree. Just like everybody would quote Frazetta, at least in my generation, would quote Frazetta as an influence in their art. So it got me thinking.
Somebody might say that about you.
Probably not, but it could happen.
Kind of a tender thing, happen. Yeah.
It is. But I mean, you would hope that after you're gone, that people remember you fondly, or at least remember your work fondly.
We will. Way to ruin a moment, Shelley. Okay. But no, it was sad, and it was really tender to see all the comments on social media. So she, Fraga.
Yeah. Well, Dan
they were really good friends, and Fraga's such a, I really like him.
He's got a good heart.
Yeah.
And it was very, I'm sure for a lot of people, it's like when Paul Ryan passed away, what a shock that was for us, because
that was horrible.
We were, really good friends. I mean,
you guys were like, they were such good friends. They were like brothers. They were super, super tight. And
so whenever something like that happens, it's always, but I always think it's maybe a good thing to sort of kind of look back on their contributions and stuff like that, and kind of spin a positive on it instead of, looking at it in a negative light, because there's, it's sad.
Well, how many people that pass can say that you've influenced so many people?
Yeah.
Because we always wonder, like, who's gonna, I don't know, maybe you guys don't, but I go, who's gonna miss me? Like 3 people? Jimmy might.
No,
love you, Jimmy.
You got a ton.
But to know, like if my students would be like, I don't remember anything that she ever taught me, but I remember when she tap danced in class or whatever. It's his legacy will live on through other people. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is the very first. It took me a while, because when I was to remember this, but I remember like how I got turned on to Wrightson's art. I remember exactly the circumstances and how it happened.
Oh, right. Cool. Yeah.
And I was like, well, when did I get turned on to Neal Adams' art? And I was like, it felt like I was always aware of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, but I traced it back and I started realizing I bought 2 comics. I told this story a million times, but, the first 2 comics I ever bought, my mom bought me. We were on family vacation. It was 1971. So I was just 7 years old.
Gosh, your mom is.
She's 90 and she's packing stuff for us right now.
She's like the mom that everybody wants. Like, you can do whatever you want, honey. Like.
She is pretty tremendous.
She's amazing. I am trying to be the mother-in-law that she is to my new daughter-in-law. So I have a good example, but yeah.
But anyway, so my mom took me in there and said, you're going to have 2 comics. So I picked Fantastic Four 112, which was the Hulk versus Thing black cover, classic cover.
Right.
And I picked this because I don't know, I thought it looked cool. And I didn't know who Thor was. I certainly didn't know who Black Bolt was. But I thought Thor looked cool. I've always liked Thor, and I have no idea why, but I do. And so I grabbed this book.
But you can feel like, I think that's the challenge of making it feel like there's energy in it when
it's a 2-dimensional static image. Yeah.
Not to geek out, but my master's thesis was on the mathematics behind drawing in perspective.
Yes.
And that's when like people show art. First thing I look at is, does it look like they're posing like stiff versus there's energy and there's movement right, even though it's a flat surface, right?
Yeah, Neal's mastery of the anatomy and just doing that was fantastic. And so I remember reading this book. I read FF 112, and it was pretty, classic little kid comic book story where the Hulk and Thing are punching each other for 20 pages. This it had like the Black Panthers in it, not the superhero, but like the 60s and 70s militant group. And there was a lot of political intrigue and stuff going on. And it freaked me out. And one of the reasons it freaked me out so bad was the art inside was so realistic that Neal drew that it just like, it was difficult for me to read the comic again because it felt so real and it was way above my head.
Well, and it didn't hurt that there was a hot chick in the bottom corner.
Well, I was 7. I wasn't looking that hard back then.
You were too.
Maybe I was.
You had a hairy chest at 7, didn't you?
Second
you
grade.
You had testosterone.
Yeah, I was a player in 2nd grade. But anyway, so this, I think this has to be what turned me on to Neal Adams, or at least made me aware of him, right?
Yeah.
So, but one of the first things I bought when I became sort of a comic book nut.
That's not Frazetta?
No, it's Neal Adams.
I know, but see, I would have looked at it and said, if you had said, what does Shelley know? I would have said, that's Frazetta. And then it would have shown I know nothing.
That's Neal Adams, and that's a watercolor painting. And this I saw in, I had subscribed to the weekly newspaper, the Buyer's Guide to Comics Fandom.
Oh.
And they would have ads and stuff. It would have lots of features and everything, but it also had tons of ads for things that were coming out and for sale. And so like if someone did the art of or a treasury edition or something like that, it came out. And I saw this and ordered it.
Why would you? I love the highlights on the muscles.
I know.
They make them just really pop.
Yeah, it's a tremendous illustration. And so obviously it sort of drew me in. And so this is the one thing I remember really owning very early.
So many little look,
particularly just because it was Neal Adams art that I got it.
Yeah.
And these old treasury editions and things like this that are from a lot of them are from the 70s and some from the 80s. Of course, they did this as well. They had all sorts of drawings in there that you wouldn't have seen anyplace else at that time. Now with the internet, you can find anything.
Oh gosh.
Right. But back then you would buy one of these treasury editions and there would be cool stuff on the inside that you'd never seen before, like this. This was a Neal Adams album cover from Power Records, Stump the Swamp Child. You can see right up in the corner where it says 33 1/3 RPM, right? And apparently this was a comic book story or something. I have never found this because I don't know if it actually got used or not, but it was such a cool drawing. Just the, this creature in the swamp. You can tell just the weight, his use of shadows and stuff to create.
Sorry, I'm geeking out a little bit because I just had to explain to my students what a turntable was because we're doing angular velocity and acceleration and rotation and about like 33 1/3 RPMs. But I wish I could combine that with like an art thing. That would be really cool.
This was a thing in the 70s where you could buy like Marvel Comics and they would have an album and they had to do all the voices acting, right? And so you'd put the album on and then they would act out the page and then it would go beep and you'd turn the page and go to the next page.
The film strips, beep, turn it. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So we would sit there and read a comic book with the voice actors on this album. And this was apparently what this Stump the Swamp Child
when things were so much more simple and entertainment was what it was. Yeah,
I know. So anyway, I thought it was a really cool drawing, and I saw that drawing in the Neal Adams Treasury, and I never would have seen it if I hadn't got that treasury.
The green laser, yes, turntables are back in style, and it's funny because our daughter is totally into vinyls, but she didn't know what they were at first, and she said, "Mom, could we go look at vinyls?" And I go, "Vinyl? Oh, you mean vinyls?" Okay, but she's him. She's classic rock, Queen, Pink Floyd.
Raised her right.
She just went and saw Journey in concert. Yeah, she's crazy.
This is the second Neal Adams Treasury, which I didn't get till much later, because again, as a kid in the 70s, finding this stuff was really difficult.
Right, because I didn't go onto eBay or.
Right, and there wasn't any conventions happening around Portland. They finally started when I was in high school, and that's when I would go and be able to find stuff like this.
Super cool.
But that's the second one, which I do have now, of course. But there's all sorts of good, fun stuff in there that Neal had worked on. So I highly recommend both of those. And then, of course, this is the third one that I picked up.
You can open all those up and then just scroll through if you want. Might be easier.
Okay, go ahead and open up because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. This is The Art of Neal Adams, which was, again, one of these paperback things that, well, we were on this one. But
right. Go ahead.
It's one of those paperback things that stapled, and 8.5 by 11, black and white in the inside, right? Color cover, black and white on the inside. But again, it just had a bunch of Neal art that maybe you would not have seen otherwise. So,
Did I ruin it?
I don't know.
Nothing showing.
We're still on.
Right, but okay.
Shelly's breaking stuff. Okay, that's fine. Is this the next one in line?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I highlighted all the rest that were red.
Okay.
We'll see if I messed it up.
Okay, so this, of course, is the very famous from 1978, I'm pretty sure.
What is that? Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
It's Neal Adams drawing Superman versus Muhammad Ali. And what a tremendous comic. I mean, in terms of just well drawn, it's a little silly, but
who would they choose? Like, who would they put now? Like,
if Superman was fighting
Superman versus Antifa. I mean, like, Muhammad Ali was such an icon that
no, they would like somebody like who's that that Irish fighter McGregor. He's always getting in trouble and being obnoxious. He has commercials.
That would
and
be
stuff.
Me. No.
Yeah, there isn't any icons really. Like,
right.
It'd be like, I mean, there's sports icons, but certainly not boxing, and certainly not. No one ever reached the level, I don't think, of Muhammad Ali.
Right.
So, anyway, yeah, Tyson Fury. There you go, Tyson Fury in there, but it wouldn't have the same impact, And if you look at the cover of this has all sorts of celebrities and famous people.
Batman.
There's Jimmy Carter right there. Batman. I'm trying to remember. That? It's hard to see.
Telly Savalas, like right there.
Yeah, Johnny Carson's. I think that's Johnny Carson right there. Yeah, the thing is, when you flip open the inside of the book, it tells you who everybody is. There's like a little guide in there to see who they are. But I remember seeing that, and that was kind of a big deal. And it was a Treasury edition.
Probably right there.
Could be. I don't know.
Of course I'm right.
No, he looks a little old for Bert.
All right.
Anyway,
so next.
This was something I had to pick up in a back issue bin, but it's the one issue of Conan that he actually drew the interiors. He did the cover and the interiors himself. Mm-hmm. And he inked some other people, but I don't believe he actually did the interiors on his own, with the exception of this comic.
Back then, they probably weren't paid well.
Well, he made the joke.
To keep the art?
Not till like the early 80s when Jim Shooter's although Neal was one of the forerunners, if not the forerunners, of getting art returned to creators and fighting for creators' rights. So he actually contributed quite a bit to the industry aside from just the art. But I remember this was a cool issue of Conan because it had Neal Adams art in it. Not that John Buscema's stuff wasn't great or Barry Smith's, but I remember seeing this going, oh man, I got to get that. And of course I have it.
Of course you do.
And this was on the newsstands. I didn't have to go back and buy it. Like this issue of Conan I showed you here, this one I had to go find in a used bookstore because I wasn't really buying comics regularly when this came out. But when this did, it was on the newsstands. And I got this because there was this big old monster on the cover. But later, of course, discovered this is Gil Kane inked by Neal Adams. And the interior of the book is, I believe, Kane inked by Adams, if not Buscema inked by Adams. But either way, he had this pen name where he had a group of guys called Krusty Bunkers that were out of his studio that would ink these.
The best. Yeah.
That would ink these stories, but it was basically Neal Adams inking this stuff.
Nice.
So that was one I picked up off the newsstands as a kid. Now,
well, Dave, It's like Geekview Tavern. They were returning art well before Shooter.
Okay. So there you go. So
they
Shooter
just because he's older.
Shooter just takes credit for it, and or does Shooter take credit for the getting people royalties? Maybe that's what Shooter took credit for. But yeah, Neal was a big front runner in getting people's art returned and getting. Dang it!
Go back to there. You go. Ooh, that one's cool. That's like a. What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything. Okay.
Wasn't there a movie poster like that with the arm up and the? Sorry.
Probably, but not for this.
I know, but remind me of that.
So, the owner of Marvel Comics, Martin Goodman, who is Stan Lee's uncle twice removed or something weird like that.
Okay.
In the 70s, I want to say that he sold the company, or either that or someone bought it out from under him and he wasn't too happy about it. But anyway, so they opened up their own new comic company called Seaboard Publications, and it was Atlas Comics. And he was hiring all the best people he could away from Marvel and other people like Howard Chaykin, and he got Neal Adams to do several covers, and got Rich Buckler and other people to work on these books. And this is one of my favorite covers he did during that period of time, Iron Jaw, the barbarian with an iron jaw. So the chicks really dug him. But one of the other earlier things that I was aware of from Neal was his Tarzan paperback covers in bookstores. And I was quite young when these were first coming out. And these things were incredible. So I would see, when I would go to bookstores, and when my parents went to the mall, they would always dump me off at the bookstore. And I would stay in the bookstore the whole time while they were shopping. They'd come back and get me. And I would usually spend my time looking at the science fiction fantasy books like this. And of course, the Doc Savage by James Bama, who also just recently passed away, sadly.
Right.
And, Boris Vallejo, and all these really kind of Michael Whalen, all these cool covers were on Frazetta, were on all these books. And I would spend the whole time, you'd want to open up the paperback and see if there was pictures inside, and there never was. But so I just look at the covers, and these Tarzan covers by Neal were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's another, and he did this whole series of them. And I don't know if I have all these or not. I think I've got a couple of them. I should have them. I don't know.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't. I really like this one because it's a really interesting angle, and that's a total Neal Adams shot, right? From low, from behind somebody.
Serious gastrocnemius. His calf muscles.
Wow.
I know my stuff.
And then the black framing the villainous there in the background, and it's just a very unusual and original angle to shoot a shot from, or draw a scene. But he did that all the time, and that's one of the things I picked up from Neal in my work. I don't draw like Neal, but a lot of my storytelling stuff I picked up from Neal. So you'll see stuff that I draw and you say, oh, that's a Neal Adams panel, or because it's clear that I picked up those storytelling beats from him. This is one of my favorites that he did. Look at that poor girl. That monkey's going to just rip her hair out, but Tarzan's going to save her.
Messing with the dew.
I really like that one. I think that's really cool.
Well, that and the use of lighting.
And then let's go back into comic book land.
Okay.
I discovered Neal in comics prior to his work on Batman through Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and some other stuff, which I'll show you in a second. But this is kind of a classic piece where,
Oh, I like how he did his name in the back of the truck.
Neal Adams and Denny O'Neil. Yeah. Well, him and Stranko were they would go back and forth with trying to outdo each other with layouts and cool things, because Stranko was working at Marvel and Neal Adams was working at DC, and Stranko, of course, was working on Captain America and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and while he was doing Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and some other things, which we'll get to in a minute, like that. And they're always trying to one-up each other in the comics. This is where I really fell in love with Neal Adams, was on Dead Man. And again, this came out way before I was collecting comics, but I would found these in back issues at the old bookstores. and his run on Deadman was really great, and I loved that. And plus, it's a spooky character, so of course I loved it. And the funny thing is, he did not do the first issue of this Deadman series in Strange Adventures. Carmen Infantino did, and then he took over on the next issue. So the first two covers are Carmen Infantino, and then Neal took over covers on the third installment.
12 cents.
Yeah, that was back in probably 67 would be my
I'm
guess.
looking at the hair. Going,
maybe 68.
Yep.
I think 67.
So Old Man says he used to read all those. Doc Savage. I've read.
She's read Doc Savage. And
almost all the ones that he has.
Yep.
They are I love them. They're hysterical. Of course, people would lose their minds today. But
that's a pretty accurate statement, I think. Rosetta sold Conan, Adams sold Tarzan. I think that's true.
Davey knows his stuff.
Anyway, I have all of these Strange Tales, his Adventures in Strange Tales.
Yeah.
I sold my Green Lantern, Green Arrow collection for some reason. Because Green Lantern, Green Arrow 76 was getting really high in price, and I thought it was peaked out. And so I thought, I'm going to dump these. And I did.
You did.
So that's the only, I have almost a complete Neal Adams collection, at least in terms of interiors he did.
Oh, nice.
Except for the Green Arrows that I sold for whatever reason. Anyway, I love this splash page. This is from Avengers. He jumped over to Marvel for a short period of time, did several issues of X-Men, and did a couple issues of Avengers, 93, 94, 95. No, I'm sorry, 94, 95, and 96. Wait a minute, 93, 94, 95, and 94 issues. This, I believe, is from 96, but don't quote me on. Yeah, I think it's 96. That's Triton of the
makes sense.
I was going to say the New Mutants, but that would be wrong. It'd be the Inhumans, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But that hand reaching out in the foreground, grabbing the pillar. I mean, it's a very dynamic shot, even though it's just a guy crawling out of the water. It has great visceral impact, and it's very dramatic, and that stuck with me. And this double page spread from Avengers 93, where Ant-Man, as you can see him on the lip there of the Vision. Something's wrong with the Vision, who's an android, and he's going to go inside him and fix him. So he's going in through the mouth. He's shrinking way down.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is a double page spread. So this huge head of the Vision is a double page fold out spread. And that was one that had a great impact on me as well. That I thought, man, that was really cool to do something like that. I mean, it's outrageous to do just a big close up like that, but and then Captain America sort of peering over the top there as he's letting Ant-Man off his hand onto the Vision's face. And so he was very innovative in terms of how he did his storytelling. We'll get into that in a minute. So, that needs to be bigger.
That does. Blip, blip, blip.
Okay, well, that's going to be a little pixelated. But this cover I found at the old bookstore, Serendipity here in Portland. We would go through and look for old comics, right? And they had a Batman box. And I found this cover. And again, being the horror fan, I didn't get this because it was Neal Adams. I wasn't even thinking that. I was just like, oh my gosh, Batman's trapped in an insane asylum and this freaky dude is locking him in. I've got to read this comic. And it just happened that it was a Neal Adams cover. He didn't do the interiors, probably Irv Novak did, but it's a great cover. And it's one that sort of stuck with me. And I lost it or sold it or whatever. So I went back and recently, within the last couple of years, repurchased this in near mint condition, of course.
Oh, of course.
Are you still on camera?
I don't know.
No, see, look, you're drifting off. Get back on camera.
Why?
Either get all the way off or get all the way on.
All
no,
right,
because they can still see us, Shelley. Now they can't see you. See,
that's better.
We've just dropped like
That's
20
better for
people.
them.
The minute you went off camera, 20 people left.
Right.
Now get over here.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I see he's taking a break. Okay,
Check on the dog.
if you go check on him, he'll come in here and start bugging us. Oh my gosh. Follow the script. Okay. Anyway, when I saw this was a must buy. I mean, this is Neal Adams doing monsters again, right? So you got Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Manphibian in this comic. The first and only appearance, I believe, of the Manphibian is in this comic. But Neal didn't do the insides, I don't think. Just the cover. But what a tremendous cover. And again, this is watercolor, okay? Which was, I don't believe I've ever seen any of Neal do any oil painting. It was always watercolor. But these magazines, which were potentially could have adult content in them because they weren't sold on the comics rack. They were sold, on the magazines, with the magazines like Warren magazines were, Creepy and Airy magazine and Starlog and other things like that. This, when I saw that cover, I was just like, it just blew me away. So yes, I do have the copy of that as well. And that's another one of those memorable pieces that Neal did that is a permanent part of my collection. Now, I want to recommend this to everybody. Okay, if you have not read this comic, this may be Neal's best Batman story. And again, that's my opinion. There's a werewolf in it, so why wouldn't I like it? But I actually, when I taught a class many years ago at the Northwest College of Art here in Portland on comic art, I used a page from this story as just a great example of storytelling. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But this is Batman 255. It's not a cheap book if you get it near mint, but if you get you can get a beat up copy, pretty affordable, I would assume. And I would highly recommend it if you do not have access to this story, or at least get one of the reprints of the Neal Adams work that has this story in it. Now, here's the page that I just absolutely love. And this is when I was looking at this page, not as a kid, but as an adult, and breaking this page down, I started realizing that having really cool storytelling was not necessarily how you arrange the panels, but what the content in the panel was. Okay. This is a dynamic and super interesting page, but it has very basic frame layout, right? I mean, it's very basic 6-panel frame. I mean, maybe not the size of the panels, but just in terms of the layout, you don't have panel overlap. You don't have, sort of the imagey thing they were really doing a lot of in the 90s, that all of us were really, that McFarlane, pardon the expression, spawned in the industry, I think, with his layouts. But let's take a look at the storytelling on this. First of all, your panel one is kind of your establishing shot of the werewolf coming after him, right? But look at this angle. First of all, that's an incredibly difficult low angle shot, right? Where you have Batman's fist in the foreground, and where camera is pushing past them up to the werewolf, right? So you have a great shot of the werewolf. You have a really difficult angle on Batman's face. And it's a typical, again, Neal Adams type shot. He would never, do the simple way out, it seemed like. He would always take a more complicated and interesting approach to how he laid out a page from the camera angles and stuff, okay? Now, the second panel, I think, is interesting because it's fairly flat, right? There's no real background because you don't want the action of what's occurring there to get lost, right? And if we drew this big, there's some sort of road machinery type thing that Batman is chained near or by, but we kind of drop that out here because we want to see the action, and it needs to be clear that the werewolf is jumping over Batman and Batman is, bending back out of the way. And I find it kind of interesting how he had Batman bending back as opposed to forward, which is something I probably would do. So that's kind of a unique and interesting take on it right there. But again, it's still dynamic. There's still a lot of clarity there. And of course, it's really well drawn. Now, this third panel, I think, is really interesting because look where he cuts Batman off. I just think it's designed for the word balloons to go on the bottom of the panel as opposed to the top. And so you have this action more towards the top of the panel, and you have Batman cut off here, but you don't have his face cut off, right? Which is important. So you get the body language and everything working here, and you got the werewolf back here on the ground with, again, another typical Neal Adams butt shot, right? Where the werewolf is facing away from us rather than towards us, right? Which you'd think I'd want to go with so we can see the werewolf's head. But, and then you have this extra space down here on the bottom, and then you put your word balloons right in here. and everything balances out. But it's just a really interesting and unique process here, or decision, to cut him off where he did. But it works really, really well. And of course, we go in for a close-up, and it's a 3/4 shot of the face, close-up of him, and it's needed here, right? We have to see him picking the lock, and so the script calls for a close-up here, and he goes in, and it's clear as day what he's doing. Again, clarity and storytelling, but still using interesting angles, right, to make this a very dynamic-looking page. But it's that great combination of sometimes a great combination of clarity and dynamics. And what you find a lot in modern comics is maybe you'll get some clarity, but it's boring, or you'll get some really cool dynamics, but you can't necessarily follow what's going on. Neal was really a master of incorporating dynamics and clarity into his storytelling. And that's not to say everything he did was perfect and worked. He took a lot of chances. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Most of the time it did. And then I like this thin close-up of the werewolf kind of looking back over his shoulder to let us know he's recovered and he's about ready to attack again. And this is a type of shot. If you look in my work, you will see this type of close-up of a character looking back over his shoulder, very similar to this, all the time. So you can, even though I don't draw like Neal, you can clearly see in my work, if you're really looking, you can see where his influences in storytelling made a huge difference in my career early on. Don says, seeing what used to be done, then thinking about how far DC and Marvel have fallen seems extra painful for me right now. Yeah, I mean, it was a different era, a different age. There was different expectations for what comic books were for, right? And I always felt like the sophistication of Adams' art, and of course, Denny O'Neil wrote some really good stories too, but the sophistication of his art allowed comic books to be read and enjoyed by adults even back then, even though they were completely accessible to younger age readers. And I think that's the sweet spot that we've lost in modern comics, among other things, which I won't get into the politics of it all, but just in terms of separating your stories for adults and for kids, because when you do that, the stories you do for kids, you're basically talking down to them, and you're basically eliminating most adult readers because you're doing that, right? And in your adult comics, there's too much violence, or there's too much sex, or there's too much whatever, that it's not really appropriate for a young reader, right? So you alienate that half your audience. And so what I always felt, and the reason I enjoyed comics, and one of the reasons I got into comics, was I really felt like you could do stuff like Adams is doing here in this werewolf story, where it's not gratuitous, and yet it still feels like, if you're a kid, you feel like you're reading an adult comic, but at the same time, there's nothing in there that would necessarily be, your parents would find offensive and go, throw that away, and at the same time, as an adult, you could pick this up and not feel like you were reading a kid's comic, that it was somehow juvenile and beneath you. So they had this, and that wasn't always true of every comic, but certainly of Neal's work, and guys like Wrightson and people like that seemed to sort of elevate the art form. Barry Smith's Conan, elevated the art form. Even John Buscema's Conan never really felt like a little kid's comic, but you could still read it as a kid, but you could still enjoy it as an adult. And those are the things that I think we should be striving for, so that we have a broader audience for reading comics, instead of trying to just narrow. I'm not saying you can't have an adult line for people that are into that, but you shouldn't have a kid's line and an adult line. You should have an all ages line that speaks to both. And then if you want to do some raunchy stuff, you can go do that in your Vertigo line or whatever, which is what really comics used to be until just recently. So, but this is one of my favorite stories that Neal ever did, and certainly one of a great example of his remarkable storytelling abilities. So there you go. How about that? Mighty Joe wants to know. That's a rhyme. Did Adams ever review your portfolio work? Yes, he did. When I was in film school down and living in LA, he opened up a Continuity Studios which is commercial art studio that he opened in New York originally, him and Giordano and some others. And they were opening up a branch in LA. And so they were looking for artists. And so I went in and brought my portfolio in. And I got to tell you, man, I was like 21, 22 maybe. And here I was going to meet Neal Adams, one of my big heroes. I was going to get interviewed by him. And there's nothing more horrifying than putting your portfolio in front of somebody who's really, really good and a master and a legend, right? And so that that you can't measure up, but you're like, what are you going to do? You put it in front of him. And I have to say he was fairly gracious because I didn't bring in comic book work. I brought in storyboard work because I figured that's what they'd be looking for, being a commercial art studio. They weren't necessarily going to be producing comics. They would be producing commercial art. And he was actually fairly complimentary to my stuff. He asked me some questions, some dumb things that I did. Why'd you do that? And why'd you do that? But he wasn't like really harsh and rude, And then we left. I left it, but on the way out, he said, well, we might be able to use you in the future, so we'll keep your name on file and blah, blah, blah. And that was kind of the end of it. Of course, I never heard from him again. So apparently they couldn't use me. But he was way easier on me than I would have expected. And then from stories I've heard from other people, I guess I really lucked out because I guess he could be pretty brutal with his portfolio reviews. So, hey, Shelley, they're asking where you're at. Mm-hmm. Modern comics is an inexpensive therapy session for creators. It seems like it's become that, doesn't it?
Oh, gosh, I hate my computers.
There was pride in the work. Now it seems like there is none, at least in most mainstream comics. There's still hope in independent comics. We're trying to. I don't know if I think there's people take pride in their art. There's a lot of good art in there, but there's a difference between good illustration and good comic book art. And it's not necessarily the same thing. They can be the same thing, but they're not necessarily the same thing. And there's a lot of good artists or illustrators working in comics, but I don't know, in terms of the dynamics and stuff that I like in comics, I don't know that we're seeing a ton of it. There you go. Brutally honest reviews.
I'm having technology issues.
I'm not hitting the bottle. She may be.
I might need to even more. So my desktop now is.
Jay Lee says, I was on another channel talking about Neal Adams looking at my portfolio as well. Well, I'm sure he did quite a few portfolio reviews this time, and I'm sure they're all sort of interesting stories in one way or another.
Jimmy. No, yeah.
Good timing. I was about to leave this place without Shelley.
No, out of my 3 computers.
Wow, Jimmy, I wouldn't have expected that from you, but you can expect this from me.
No, I have 3 computers, and 2 of them are not working well, and I have a test tomorrow that I had to start over, and so I've been in there trying to print it.
Tried to sneak out
because I am getting stressed out.
This is actually a long show for us. We usually go an hour and a half, and here we are at the 2-hour mark. But
yeah, you talk a lot.
Let me help you out here.
Just saying. There
you go.
Ooh. Oh, that's way better. Okay. Yep.
Straighten her out. Dave's right here. He says there's infinitely more detail in modern comics art, but it doesn't necessarily make for better comics. And that is
storytelling
true.
Is important.
It's very true. Jimmy's like, thank you. You blew me up.
I'm about to go blow up my computers. So I'll be visiting the Apple store quite a bit this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got some computer problems. I don't, but she does. And all of them blew up at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm using my old laptop that reminds me of an iPad. It's tiny. See, there we are.
Oh, that's freaky.
Because I've got my wrench going. But my bigger laptop and my desktop now are
Randy, $2. Thank you, sir. Sign up for Graham Sally Tales Kickstarter launch. How about that? Yeah, we're interested to see how that does.
Yeah. And we are going to be running out of shot glasses and beanies here soon. So if you really want one, now would be the time.
Yep. You still remember Neal asked if I really wanted to draw comic books, and I said, no, I want to work at Skunk Works. I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it, Jay. We just did Randy, didn't we? Thank you for the $2 Canadian, Randy. I really appreciate that very much. And Graham appreciates it. Okay, let's wrap this show up if we might. Oh my gosh.
Urena!
I was kind of trying to slide one by the sensor. All right, Shelley's going to model our summer wear. Our summer wear. This is winter wear we're selling in the summer. The Wraith of God.
This is what I call channeling my inner Darren Wagner.
One's on its way to Dale Keown, so hopefully he'll wear it and give us some.
There we go. Big old hairs. How do I look? We both barely fit.
So is now a good time to say a huge, enormous thank you. Yes, it is, Dave.
Yes, Dave.
So check out Dave Ulrich's Geek View Tavern. It's a wonderful show if you enjoy talking about the Ultraverse and other geeky stuff.
Yep.
With Tom Mason and whoever else he drags on the show, like occasionally me.
Sometimes.
So anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us. There'll be Comicsgate Kings, I guess, tomorrow night, which is Monday night. It seems like there's shows every night anymore. And
then Bros on Thursday.
Yeah.
And who knows what you'll throw in there.
That's right.
In between.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot of live streaming for me very soon. Once I get all the things out to the printers and we're waiting for the books to come back, I'll have to do something. And in that time, I will be drawing.
Otherwise, he'll drive me crazy. I'll say
the things you say about
get out of my rocker chick hair and go draw something.
Oh, my gosh. There's all these stories about guys retire. And then their wives are like, my husband follows me around all the time.
In my back pocket.
And that's not what goes on around here.
No.
Okay? So don't paint a picture that is inaccurate.
I'll be painting me a picture. Get out of my back pocket. Go draw something.
Oh, my gosh. That's right. All they do is lay around and watch TV and go in and bug her.
Oh,
that's all I do.
No, that's what I do.
That's all I do.
Teach for a couple hours, come back.
That's all I do. Yep. All right. So anyway.
All right.
So be looking on the lookout for my last second live streams because they're going to start happening, and we're going to. I talked to David Williams about some concepts.
I need a dumpster behind me, and then I'd be Darren.
Just feel free to interrupt me at any time you like. I'm not telling. Nothing I'm saying is important. So
I'll never get a brush through this again. Sorry.
Oh, wait a minute! I confused myself. We're back to the Wild Wild West.
Pull a knife out of my beanie.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, David had suggested that I maybe start doing sketches of some of the characters that you'll be seeing coming up in my next projects, new characters. I thought that's a great idea. So I think I'm going to start doing that.
I think it's a good idea.
So that,
brilliant.
Saturday is free comic book day.
Nice.
Not from me, but
free work your butt off day.
That's right. I'm kind of falling out of interest in the Marvel movies, but I do like Doctor Strange. So I will check this out and hopefully it'll be good. So there you go. Anyway, so beanies, shot glasses are still available on the campaign. Actually, everything's still available on the campaign. I haven't shut it down yet, but it's going to be shut down sooner than later. I don't know exactly what the date is, but
we'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's Kit Carter, Dave. Geez, get it right, man, will you? So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us. We couldn't do this if you wouldn't show up and tolerate us. So I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
Hit the like and subscribe even if you don't want to.
Patience.
And we will see you next time. Enjoy your week.